how can we like muster up the courage to have the conversation and do the thing? Because you'll find that by having the conversation and doing the thing, it's creating more space in your energetic vortex in your field, which then makes space for other things to come in. What is up, legend? Welcome to another episode of the Rich Mystic Man podcast. Gratitude to you. Thank you, my dearest listener. I appreciate you and your presence and you tuning in, and also appreciate you sharing this with another brother who you feel would benefit from this episode or any of my other episodes that I've been putting out. So this one's going to be short, sharp, but really potent, and something really powerful that I have utilized in my life that's helped me to clear my energetic field, because our energetic field can get wrapped up with so much BS, so many things that are weighing you down, myself included. I can do this, and I've just had a experience over the last couple of days, and so I wanted to share this with you. And it actually, one element, I'll share two little stories. One is, so you may listen to this and go, dude, you're an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm an idiot. But I want to share with you. So it links to my Whipper Snipper. So almost 2 years ago, I bought a Whipper Snipper. So we have some really amazing land out in the Byron hinterland. And we're building out a retreat center out there. And so it grows a lot of grass, and it's in the valley. And so the valley it's like a subtropical climate. And so grass grows really rapidly out there. Anyway, so, I was like, well, let's tackle this. And so we recently just invested into a $18,000 ride-on lawnmower, which was a big thing for Clint Morgan to pay 18 grand for a ride-on lawnmower. If you had told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing that, I would have thought you were a bit nuts. But here I am, 18K on a ride-on lawnmower, but it's epic. I've been using it, and it's really fun and really effective. So that's not I'm talking about, sidetracked by the lawnmower, the Whipper Snipper, right? So I bought this Whipper Snipper. I've got like a really like strong thing. Like it has the like the vest thing you wear. It's got the handles. It's got this blade that can like cut down like small little trees and shrubs and things like that. And it was quite, the price tag. It was like $1,400 or something like that. Like you can go with the snippers for about 600. So it was a decent one, decent one. Anyway, another fella at our land was using it, and it broke. Drive shaft broken, right? And it was pretty much brand new. I'd only had it for like a few months. So I was like, and he said, man, you're going to have to take this back. So I was like, all right, cool. So I took it to my house in Murbar, which is about an hour away from my other place. And it's been under my house ever since. And, the team at the retreat center that we call Gila is at our land. They're like, we need a Whipper Snipper. I'm like, I have a Whipper Snipper. They're like, well, where is it? I'm like, it's broken. They're like, okay, well, what are you doing about that? I'm like, I just need to take it to the place. They're like, want me to get it repaired? I'm like, it's got to be under warranty. So anyway, I've had this thing there, and I've been putting it off, 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 and been putting it off. Anyway, today we're under the house, and I saw it there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that today. And I'm going to do it today, but I also need to film a podcast. So I'm like, actually, I'll do that after. I'll do the podcast. I'm like, no, Clint, take the fucking Whipper Snipper, right? So anyway, so I put it in the back of my ute, preparing for this trip, right? It's a 5-minute drive down to this Whipper Snipper shop. So I went down there, took the Whipper Snipper in, talked to the lady, told her what happened. I said, this happened like over 12 months ago, but it's broken. I think it should be under warranty. And, but sorry, it's been a while since I brought it down. She's like, oh, it's fine. She goes, all right, cool. Here's a tag. We'll get it repaired for you. I was like, is it under warranty? She's like, yeah, it's a 2-year warranty. She goes, yeah, it's still under warranty. She's like, yeah, that's fine. And I said, okay, cool. When's it going to be ready? She goes, oh, probably like Wednesday. And I said, okay, it's Friday now. So next week. And she said, yep. And I said, all right. She gave me a ticket and I left. I was there for probably 2 minutes, and it was a 5-minute drive. So by the time I got back, it was a 12-minute round trip. And I got back, I was like, you know what? Like that was such a thing. It was so easy, but it was so much energy in my field, so many conversations, so many like, oh, I got to take that Whipper Snipper. Oh, I got to take that Whipper Snipper. Oh, I got to take that Whipper Snipper, right? And you're probably thinking, Clint, why didn't you just take the Whipper Snipper? I don't know. But my question to you, brother, is like, what are you putting off? What's something in your basement? What's your Whipper Snipper? And do you need to get it fixed? Do you need to get it repaired? Do you need to throw it out, right? And so another thing happened to me recently. So I've been working with someone this year, and it's been epic. And I just needed to have a conversation with her about our working agreement moving forward. And I wasn't feeling that well, right? I wasn't feeling that well. I've sort of been navigating some ascension symptoms this last couple of weeks. And my body's been going through a huge purge and detox, which I know a lot of people in our community is experiencing something similar. But anyway, I had this conversation, and I don't know why. I just made this. I was like, there's so much stuff coming up around it. I was like, how am I going to say this? Like, what am I going to say? How am I going to approach it? And I sort of just kept putting it off, finding a reason. There was always valid reasons why I should do it. I wasn't feeling good, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I finally had the conversation yesterday, and it was easy. It was just like literally just a conversation, and it was received well. And it feels like so much weight off my shoulders, and it feels really great that the conversation has now been had, right? So the question is, and let's take a little bit of a brain check. I'm just going to spit some things out of some things that could need addressing in your life. Because what happens is all these things, they create a weight in your energetic vortex, in your energetic field. And that Whipper Snipper, although it may seem small, it was carrying a certain amount of energy. It had a certain amount of energy in my field, and it was taking energy from me in a sense. It was taking up some of my bandwidth consistently. Not always, I wasn't always there. I wasn't constantly thinking about this Whipper Snipper, right? The conversation it was constantly in my mind, or constantly coming back to me. It was constantly haunting me, right? And so what's something in your life that's taking up bandwidth, right, that you need to take an action on? So I'll spit a few things. Is there someone you need to have a conversation with? Is there something you need to express to your partner? Is there something you need to say to your children, to your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your friends? Is there something that needs to be expressed? Is there something that needs to be shared online? Is there something that needs to be started? Is there something that needs to be finished? Something that needs to be thrown out, right? Do you need to join a gym? Do you need to stop eating something? Do you need to clean something up? Whatever we resist persists. It's a really simple practice, but if we can get good at communicating and tidying up and not letting things linger and taking action on things, and yes, everything has a timing. You could say that the conversation that I needed to have, it was had at the perfect time, and it was, right? And I needed to go through that. I need to process it and, get clarity on things and, go through my own process before that had the conversation. Yes, right? And maybe I could have had it earlier. And it needed to happen. So it needed to happen. So some people might just put it off completely, ignore it, totally shove it under the covers, not have the conversation. And I get it. Totally understand. I've been there. I can be there, right? But how can we muster up the courage to have the conversation and do the thing? Because you'll find that by having the conversation and doing the thing, it's creating more space in your energetic vortex in your field, which then makes space for other things to come in, things that you want. So you might be there thinking, fuck, I'm not getting any leads today. Cool. What are you putting off? Where aren't you leading? No leads? Where am I not leading? What's the conversation I need to have? What do I need to show up for myself? What do I need to say yes for? What contract do I need to sign? What do I need to pay? What bill's been lingering around that I've been putting off paying and I need to pay it? What's something that needs to be followed up? What's something in your business that needs to be done? What's a campaign or a funnel that needs to be launched that you keep putting off? That's just, it's there. What's that big idea that you keep putting off? So now it's coming towards the end of the year, 2023. It's a good time to clean things up so you don't take that stuff into the new year. So what do you need to clean up? It's a good time to have these thoughts. As I'm shooting this podcast, I'm looking out there and I'm looking under my basement, which is full of just boxes and stuff that needs my attention, right? And that's on my list to do before the end of the year. Because I've been keep putting it off. It's quite a big job. It's not even that big a job. I'm sure one day with my wife and I, with a skip bin and a trailer for stuff that needs to go into storage, stuff that needs to go to our other property, or stuff that needs to go in the bin, or stuff that needs to be sold. We're going to have a garage sale. We could knock it over. But it's one of those things. It's sometimes it seems bigger than what it is. What's that saying? I'll bet that most of the things that you're putting off, if you were to just actually do them, they wouldn't be that big a deal at all. We often make things a lot bigger deal than what they actually are. So as you're listening to this podcast, something may have come to mind. Something may come to mind over the next hour, days, weeks. And if it's something that needs attention, give it attention, complete it, and see how that makes you feel. All right, my brother, big love. See you next week.
Sitting here watching the clock, I'm struggling, thinking of the bullshit that I've been juggling. Is there more to life than this? I'm thinking twice about the price I'm paying in this 9 to 5 life. The sweatshop.